That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Charlie Kirk telling a massive crowd in Glendale, Arizona, that she forgave the person who is charged with shooting and killing her husband, conservative activist Charlie Kirk. As thousands gather for Charlie Kirk's memorial, the nation faces some tough questions on free speech. Kirk was a staunch advocate for free speech protections, but in the wake of his death, there are some new concerns, from the suspension of ABC late night host Jimmy Kimmel to new rules at the Pentagon. Joining us now is NBC's Washington correspondent Barr. So, Alice, thanks for being here with us today. Charlie Kirk had commented on the importance of free speech, and many yesterday, including President Trump, saluted his commitment to that. But now we're getting some new concerns about censorship. How bipartisan is this?
Yeah, it is one rare area of bipartisanship where there are some pretty substantial voices speaking out on both sides of the political divide, even as the murder of Charlie Kirk and the fallout from that seems to have been such a wedge issue. This now question of concerns being raised about free speech is one that is bridging kind of that gap. And for instance, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, very prominent conservative, he has said that he thinks it's very dangerous to have had the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, weigh in on the Charlie Kirk comments, then leading to Jimmy Kimmel being at least temporarily pulled off of the air, the comments that he made about the way that Republicans are responding to the assassination. We heard the FCC chairman sharply criticizing Jimmy Kimmel and then suggesting that there could be potential action against Disney, the owner of ABC, potentially losing its license, potentially having ABC stations that carry that program lose their license. President Trump has since made similar comments, and from Ted Cruz to also Senator Rand Paul, another noted conservative, he said that the FCC was wrong to weigh in and that he would fight any attempt by the government to get involved with speech. And then Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, prominent Democrat, he also was on NBC's Meet the Press, as well as Senator Paul over the weekend, saying that censorship, that's what he's calling what we're seeing out of the federal government, only serves to further divide us. So there are prominent voices on both sides. To note as well, we also heard from Senator Paul and others that while they believe that anyone is entitled to free speech to say what they believe, that they're not necessarily entitled to employment. So that's been the caveat from many on the Republican side that are speaking out. They think the government has absolutely no right to weigh in on whether, for instance, Jimmy Kimmel should stay on the air, but that if, popular opinion drives him off the air, that's another point.
So, Alice, here's something that really hits home for us. There's also this portion of the conversation. New Defense Department restrictions say that journalists can no longer gather or report information, even unclassified, without authorization from the government or risk losing their press credentials. What sort of pushback are we getting from this?
Yeah, and this kind of goes into the same bucket because this is now a Trump administration, a federal government policy. This went out in a memo to department staff and to journalists that are credentialed with the Pentagon. The National Press Club has come forward strongly, calling this a direct assault on independent journalism. And again, this is the kind of thing where journalists go out, they do their own digging. That is how they uncover the kind of information that the administration maybe doesn't want out there. But that is the kind of information that Americans, have sort of always been entitled to in a free press society where journalists can use their kind of wits and their skills to come up with and uncover that kind of information. Again, even if unclassified, they're now being told if they do things that are outside of the government authorized information, they can lose their press credentials. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth staunchly defended the change here, and he said that, quote, "The press does not run the Pentagon, the people do."
Pete Hegseth, who was a former member of the press. All right, Barr, thank you so much there for bringing us that live from D.C. Plenty